This is an irrigation control valve box. Inside we have the irrigation valves that control your sprinkler system. So as we can see, there's 3 valves in here, and they've separated them enough so that if they ever need to get into the hole and do some maintenance on one of these valves by removing it, they have enough space between the valves to not affect the others. Also, they've got wire connectors on these connections that are watertight. These have grease inside them to keep them from leaking so they won't corrode. And then they've got gravel in the bottom of the hole so that if this ever gets water in it, it won't silt over the top of the valves. Another thing you'll notice is that this device right here is for the drip system. This is a filter to keep the water clean and not clog the drippers, and down below that is a pressure reducer. The other component that's important to know on these valves is this on-off switch. If I turn this way, this will open up that sprinkler system manually. If I need to lower the volume of water coming through the system, this valve right here, this handle right here does that for me. And that's our valve box. This is an example of a manifold pit before they've actually connected the valves and the laterals to the valves. So I wanted to show you some of the components that make that up. This is a valve manifold. The contractor will put this together before he actually digs the pit. One of the key components here is that they've left enough room between this T and this male adapter so that if there's ever a problem with this valve, they can cut this pipe and reconnect a new one. So that's a critical element when you're putting together a manifold. They've also done that between these T's, so again, if there's ever a problem, they can sever that one and put a new one on and replace any problems with the valves. Good long-term planning. This is an anti-siphon irrigation valve. A couple of things I want to point out about it. When installing these, I encourage you to use this type of pipe. This is called Schedule 80 PVC, and its characteristic is the gray color. That's the easiest way to know you're using Schedule 80. A lot of people use white PVC, and they put a male adapter on here and thread it right into the valve. I encourage you not to do that. The white PVC is not supposed to be used above ground, so when you do that, it becomes brittle, and over time it's very easy to crack that pipe. So use Schedule 80 when doing this type of connection. The other thing is that the way that this prevents water from siphoning from the irrigation system back into your home potable water is through this right here. This is the Anti-Siphon Device, and this allows air into the line as the valve is shutting off. When the air is allowed into the valve, this can fully shut down, and in that way water does not siphon back into your home potable water system. Also, the final component is that installing these valves, one needs to install the valve 6 inches or more higher than the head that this is servicing. So if this is out here spraying water to a pop-up that's at this level, this valve needs to be 6 inches or more higher than the head itself. So if you have high pop-ups or high risers, you need to make sure that your valve stays 6 inches higher than the riser or the pop-up that it's servicing.